Yeah, you're right, Victoria. I'm joined back here with Donna, newcomer. So we're continuing to make our stuffed onion packets with cheese sauce. Cook the onions for 13 minutes, right, Donna?
Right, that'll soften them up. Everything is pretty much pre-cooked before you wrap it in the packets because you want to make sure, you know, the meat and the cheese and all that stuff is done. So I've boiled the onion and remove it with tongs or a slotted spoon. The skin falls right off, but you still have to get that tough outer layer off. I use kitchen scissors. You can use a knife. Just be careful because it's a little warm. You want everything cool enough to handle.
Right.
So remove that, and then we can just discard that.
Okay.
So now we've got something that we can stuff.
Right.
So let me get the pan over here. Now what I've done is I've taken the Pillsbury pizza dough, and it comes out and it rolls out into a big sheet, and I cut it into 4 equal pieces, and then you got to work it a little, stretch it out a little bit. And then I take each piece and put this in the center.
Okay.
And then you want to get the filling. 1/4 goes into each one.
And then how long did you cook the meat component of the dish for?
It takes about the same amount of time as it takes for the onions to cook.
Okay.
And you got to make sure the hamburger's not pink anymore, the sausage isn't pink. And then you've got, after the meat is cooked, then you put the peppers and the softened cream cheese, the Swiss cheese, and the breadcrumbs in there and just keep kind of mixing it all up till you get it good and mixed.
Okay.
At this point, when it's done and it's cool enough to handle, that's when you stuff the onion.
Okay.
And you want to get it good and packed in there. And the way I've got this, it's so that there's going to be some onions are, I mean, it's impossible to get, well, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's difficult to get a perfect 1 pound onion. So I say approximately a pound. So the onions tend to vary a little bit in size, but the goal is if you have 1/4 of the ingredients, you're going to have a little over the top, and it's going to be really packed good.
Okay.
And then the next step is to bring the corners, opposite corners together. And that's how you're going to close it up. And there's 2 ways I've been playing with this. One of them is you can twist it,
right,
and it makes a pretty little package. Or if you want, you can just fold it out. We'll do the twist on this one.
Now, is this pizza crust, the Pillsbury pizza crust, is it pretty forgiving to work with?
It is. It's like any dough. If you poke a hole in it, you can pinch it together.
Okay.
I'm not that adept at working with dough, so and I managed to do it. But once you got it together, you want to make sure everything's sealed inside of there and it's closed up. And then you need to take a fork and kind of put some holes in it so that it doesn't, the steam will cause it to inflate and it'll all fall apart on you. So you want to get a little, give it some air holes in there.
Okay.
Okay. And then that goes into the oven, 350 degrees. Depending on your oven, it takes anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
But you want to get it going until it's golden brown. And I have a couple here that
and they look
are
delicious.
already cooked.
So while you're getting them out, there's actually a neat story behind the apron that you have on for the Pillsbury Bake-Off contest.
There is. Traditionally, the aprons are what I call Pillsbury blue, which is this blue here, and they're plain, and then they have the white printing on them. Well, this year, they did a task with Project Runway. Althea Harper was the winner, and their task was to design an apron for the Pillsbury Bake-Off.
Right.
And they did this online thing where people got to vote online. Oh, wait a minute, we're forgetting the cheese sauce.
Okay.
All right, so in this pan, I've got milk, Cheese Whiz, roasted peppers, bring everything to heat, and then a teaspoon of horseradish, prepared horseradish. That gives it some kick.
Okay.
And then you stir that up really well. Now, I like to just pour 1/4 of it onto the plate, but the Pillsbury people decided that we needed to be elegant about it, and we're going to put that into this and serve it on the side. Where's my ladle? Whoop, here we go, big ladle. I'll be here all night if I try to use that. All right, so this you're going to serve on the side.
Okay.
And just put a tiny bit on the plate. So if you want to bring that over.
Okay,
So
we
it
have
doesn't make
about
too
30
much of a
seconds
mess.
left. Okay.
So there's your sauce. And then you put this in the center.
Voila.
And if we cut it open, you can see all the good stuff in the middle.
Here, I'll cut it open real quick. When
Okay.
we come back, we're going to have our second helping, which is, I think, a wonderful way to use all these ingredients, if I can cut it. Can we get that, John? Nice and cheesy. Thank you so much, Donna. We'll talk more about the apron, all your years in entering this contest, and weather's coming up next.